All right,
But I don't wanna
well,
do that.
what do you think? We about ready?
7:31, so.
You ready, Chuck?
Yeah.
All right, all members are ready. So we're gonna start. Today is Monday, January the 2nd, day of 2017. And this is the Addison Township Park and Recreation Committee. Board members present, please announce yourself.
Chuck Peringian.
David Kostick and Rod Blasing. Not available tonight is Mr. Douglas or Mr. Pearson. So with that, 7:32, we'll call the meeting to order. Dave, do you need a moment to review the agenda? You have
We're
one?
good.
All right.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
Actually, look, we'll make that recommendation if you would second.
Oh, you already did it? Okay.
Yeah.
I second the motion.
All right. So.
I'll go along with that.
All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Approval of agenda. With that, Charlie, if you want to read us the meeting notes from our December 5th meeting, that would be greatly appreciated.
Okay. This is from Monday, December 5th. These are our minutes from our meeting then. The meeting started at 7:30. Approval of agenda, all voted yes to approve. Approval of November 7th meeting minutes, all voted yes to approve. Old business, well for washing and cleaning in the basement of Arnold School in the spring. Purchase 2 metal locking cabinets to store restroom supplies and trash bags. Watershed Preserve East restroom cabinet is installed. We will distribute keys to our rangers. We will install the west cabinet soon. Garage doors and repairs to Lake George Nature Park barn. Front door is replaced, rear door soon, barn is secure. Lake George Nature Park handicap dock and trail improvements. We will get quotes. Chuck said he and Supervisor Pearson met with an engineer at the site. The engineer advised us how we could improve the trail to the proposed dock site from the parking lot using switchbacks. He also explained grade requirements. On his recommendation, we visited a site similar to ours in Oakland Township at Draper Twin Lakes Park. Provide information at the Lake George Nature Park sign. What information could be displayed short term? Rod said we are looking through what we already have. Move forward on various Lake George Nature Park projects. We explain this with our information above. New business. Make plans to remove large willow tree at proposed dock site at Lake George Nature Park. We will do this when the ice is on the lake. Park Ranger Workday at Lake George Nature Park. Plan and notify our rangers. We will make plans at our January meeting. Remove willow tree and clear and improve our trails. Public forum. Ranger Michelle LeCouey said she had cut some fallen trees along our trails at Watershed Preserve Park. She indicated there were some which were too dangerous for her to cut. Rod said we will take care of them. Ranger Art Burney said he also removed a large fallen tree along our trail to our proposed dock at Lake George Nature Park. Meeting ended at 7:55 p.m. All voted yes to end meeting.
Excellent. All in favor of the approval of the minutes?
Aye.
All approved. Okay, supervisors report. Mr. Pearson's not available for this meeting's report, so we'll catch up with him at a later date. That brings us to approval of bills. Charlie, have you any bills? Anyone any bills for the services of the park?
No.
I've got one from Rosie Brothers. The tractor filter, I just replaced the filter and the O-rings. Actually, I have them to replace because the old one had water in the bottom and it's froze up. I've got the tractor all running, everything's fine with that, but I had to buy a new filter. So, and when you do that, your O-rings split. So when you pull it off, you got to get new little O-rings for it. So I've got an invoice from Rosie Brothers for $19.73. I'd like to put through for reimbursement if you guys would give me an approval on that.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the bills.
I'll
Very
second
good.
that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. So that has the tractor all squared away. Next, old business. We have, we still have the light poles waiting on us in Watershed East. I still have not opened up the breaker panel. I've got to review the breaker panel and see specifically what type of switches we need for the lighting. When I get that, what we'll end up doing is we'll set up a day to do those poles and get that, get those mounted. We're going to have to do a little bit of pre-work first. Because I believe, Dave, Charlie, you said that the light fixtures are in the basement for those poles, is that correct? The bulbs, the lighting fixtures?
Yes,
the
they
dome?
are. Yeah.
Okay. So what we'll have to do, and if maybe we can get some of our rangers to give us a hand with that, we could set up another park day. And if we needed, we could pre-wire those poles in advance so that when we go to finalize the work, we can have the poles laid out, get the wiring up the pole and have a whip at the bottom so that we can just make the connections within the base of the pole and try and make that to where it wouldn't be too challenging by assembling the light and wiring whip to the base. So we'll be kind of a two-step approach on that. And then with that, we'll be able to close all of that up, pull the cover off, finalize the wiring in the panel, put the new switches in place, and we could even put a timer on there if we wanted to do something. Or actually, those lights will have light sensors on them, so they can manage themselves independently at that point. So that is one of the big pieces to finish up, along with the other work of the cameras there. I'm going to put all of those together, and if it's too much, we could even pick out a separate day to go over and finish up on those cameras, but I'd still like to try and get those poles finished up. The cameras and the poles are the two major projects we have there right now, so we'll pick us a day for that. If we can, we'll see if we can do it in January. If not, we'll try and fall back to March. But it's one of those things, we'll look and see when the weather appears that it will give us a couple of days to work with. And we'll see what volunteers we have. We'll try and finalize that up. Does that sound like a reasonable approach, folks? Sound all right? Okay.
Yep.
So we'll kind of leave that as a moving target then. And we'll also talk with the Burney brothers to see if they'd be able to give us a hand with that and if they might be available. So.
Louis got a real bad cold right now, that's why he's out.
Oh, is that right? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. There's a lot of that going around right now. There's a lot of people sick right now.
We'll definitely give, no problem giving you a hand on.
Wonderful.
Yeah, wire.
Wonderful. And we'll set a date that's convenient.
Right, yeah.
So, excellent. Thank
Okay.
you very much. So we'll be good working on those. We'll try for January, February and get that project wrapped up. And then I think that within the quarter, we should be able to pick another day and knock that tree out over at Lake George and get that cleaned up in preparation of the dock that we'll be trying to open up for family use.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust the ice right now.
No, I wouldn't even walk out on it with a rope on my hand. I was out there looking, there's a lot of open water in some areas still right now. It's just not safe. It's definitely not safe. So we'll plan a date for that. Hopefully we get enough weather that lake does freeze over for us. So, all right, so those are the big pending projects. Lake George handicap and trail improvements, that's still working. That's all part of what we're talking about. We still need to finish the park sign. That's not a big deal there. That sign's not been painted yet, has it, Charlie, or has it been painted?
The frame, yes.
Yes, it's
last
all
summer.
painted. Excellent. Okay. Then I have the I have that slate that we can finish up. That'll be a real easy finish for that. And then I've still not been able to get a good PDF of the lake plot. I've not gotten a hold of Six Rivers or that group to see if they have anything on it. But if worst case, if not, then I know that on the tax base here, we have the aerials of the township, and if we need, we can just get something like this blown up on that and get that transferred over, because that should be a PDF application for that.
Yeah.
So that would probably work as well as anything then.
Yeah, well, all this does is just shows the perimeters of the property lines. And what I was going to do is I was going to ask Joe Schnur where we had the other entrance sign at Watershed Preserve made.
And I think that's the same place that we had used on the other signs.
Yeah.
What's the name of that T-shirt shirt? that
It's in
sports-
Oxford on Lapeer Road.
Yeah, right at the corner of.
Oxford Sport and Tool or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, if you would, that would
Yeah,
be
okay.
awesome, Charlie, if you could verify that, and then we
Yeah.
can start getting that plot made with
We
the
can put our
trails.
trail
and-
on it.
Exactly.
Trail to the lake,
Yeah, so if they have it in a PDF form, then we could just go in with a couple of programs and put into the trails and such.
Yeah, we just want an outline of it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you'd be willing to check with him, Charlie, and get that verified, that'd be greatly appreciated. So on here, we're gonna put continuing for sign development, right?
Yeah.
So we'll let us know what you find out on that, and then we'll work forward with it from there then. That puts us into new business. We're still, new business we had in there, the removal of the tree, so that's been addressed. Ranger workday, that is all part of that same project plan, two plans between Watershed East and Lake George. Then we were looking at, the same day, we'll probably move some of the different parts and contents out of the little garage that we'll, in the future, remove, and we'll put the parts into the barn and have all that stuff set aside. There's no big rush on that, and we'll have more to come on that within the next couple of months. We need to start making plans to update the recreation master plan, correct, Charlie? When is that due?
It has to be done and submitted to the state before the end of this year.
Okay.
And every 5 years we've done it. It's not really a big deal. It's the one that's expiring this year was, I guess, from goes 2017 back 5 years. That'd make it 2012 or something.
Yeah, it's
something
been
like
quite
that.
a while since we've done
Yeah,
it.
okay,
Yeah.
well, the things that we said we were gonna do, hopefully we did a lot of those things. And now we wanna replace those with things that we wanna do between 2017 and things we would like to do in 2022 and for the next 5 years. And so it's a matter of, you know, going through it from page 1 to the very end page and taking out and removing the things that we were going to do and put in new things that we are going to do in the
Actually, a
future.
lot of those that we've completed as
Yeah.
well too, because
Yeah.
there's been some major projects that we've accomplished, anything from the putting up of the signs to the bathrooms that have been put in place, the parking lots, the driveways, the electrical, the lightings. It's been a tremendous amount of work that we've accomplished in that 5 years, and thank you to all the rangers and board members that have put all of that time in. So if there are some specific thoughts that you rangers have that you would like to have considered for the new business plan going forward within the next 5, feel free to jot some notes down, let us know, and we'd be glad to take that information in when we make our project list and looking at all 3 of the parks that we have available for some of these opportunities of improvement and maintenance work. So if you are able to make the next meeting, please feel free to bring some recommendations on that. We'd appreciate your input very much. So that will cover us on the master plan, which would take us all the way into 2022, into the 5 years of this 2017. So with the master plan and the updates, we'll look forward to any input. That point puts us into public forum, unless there's some other issues or needs that
Well,
you
just a couple little things.
Well then, Mr. Prinny, would you please share that with us then?
Well, one is our clerk, Miss Bennett, wanted to know what we wanted to do if we wanted to reschedule our posted July 3rd meeting.
Very good, yes.
Okay, now, I'm not sure how the 4th of July and the 3rd of July, what days they are. And do we want to move that? Do we want to move that meeting back a week, or maybe to the second week of July?
Yeah, July 3rd's Monday, July 4th is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Just do it the following week.
July 10th would be the next Monday.
That'd probably be the best time to do it.
Pardon?
Say that again, July 10th, that's the following Monday?
Okay,
Let's go ahead and move that.
okay, well, I have to put that in our minutes then. So, we discussed,
I can't do the 10th.
You can't, Dave, we don't, Dave,
I'm gonna be at Boy Scout.
oh
camp.
yeah.
so 4th of
okay.
July must be on a Tuesday then.
It is.
The 4th is correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So, what if we done it? So in June it would be on the 5th.
Well, we have,
Dave's not gonna be here on the 10th. We'd have to have a quorum. So.
Dave's not going to be here on the 10th?
Correct. He's got other engagements. So what if we could get a hold of Larry to verify that he'd be available then? That'd
That's,
give us the
no,
quorum.
that's fine, that's fine. That's one way of dealing with it, or
Yeah.
another one would be as if Dave was going to be available perhaps, you know, a couple days after, or the following
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah, well, this is the holiday, so he's not available on the 10th, so we'd have to do this, but it's gonna be, it's either that, either we get
We can do
Larry,
that.
we get Larry, or we just say
Supervisor
the month
Bruce, yeah.
of July we don't meet. So
Yeah.
either way, we've
Yeah.
got plenty of time to work onto that.
Okay.
Or Bruce, yeah.
So we'll
Good.
so we're going to move it to
Let's
the
go to
10th.
the 10th, yeah.
All right.
Okay, that takes care of that.
All right, what other dates? Is there any other clashes with holidays there, Charlie?
Let's see. April 3rd. Okay, for the next fiscal year, which starts in April, April 3rd,
Mm-hmm.
May 1st, June 5th, July, we changed to the 10th. August 7th. September 11th, which is the second
May
Monday.
1st, you said, was,
Yeah,
yep, okay, that's good, yep. Then June was what, the 5th?
June was 5th.
Yep, that's the first week.
Um,
July
August-
will move to the 10th.
Yep.
Okay,
August 7th.
yep.
September 11, which is the second Monday.
The 4th is a holiday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of year, Labor Day, is it?
Yeah.
It's the 4th, okay.
So it's 11.
All right, yep,
October is 2.
yep,
November is 6.
all right,
December is 4.
yep.
And then
That
next
should
year,
be good.
and then next year for January, I guess January 1st is on a Monday, so January 8th, the second Monday.
Very good.
And then February 5th of 2018.
All right.
And March 5th of 2018.
Yeah, that's far enough out, I hope
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah,
Too organized.
yeah,
All right, that should do it then.
yeah, so,
Uh,
okay, so we'll make that note in our minutes that we're gonna change, we'll have our clerk change it to the 10th.
Please,
And
yeah.
then we can make,
Larry or,
provisions, yeah.
Larry or Mr. Pearson then.
And then a couple other things too. When each month when we've been doing our agendas, we've been leaving on what we haven't accomplished on the agenda till we got it done. Otherwise, it might get forgotten. There are a few items that weren't on this month's agenda that we don't have. There's a few items, but they haven't been forgotten. But they're items more for the spring. And they'll reappear on the agenda in the spring. Well for water for the basement for Arnold School. It hasn't been forgotten about. There's nothing we can do about it in the winter. And we've been talking about it long enough where each meeting it comes up because it's on the agenda and we say, yes, we're going to do something about it, but we have to wait a while. So that hasn't been forgotten. It'll be back on the agenda. Another one is the West Cabinet for the restroom at Watershed Preserve West. In the spring, we'll put that cabinet up. We have the
Keys?
yeah. Assistant Supervisor Sherry has the keys. Last meeting, we brought the keys with us, and whoever was here, we gave them a key, and then we gave them all to Sherry. So we were going to tell our rangers, any ranger that wants a key, Sherry has them, and she'll gladly give you a key. And so in the spring, we'll take care of that cabinet. And another thing we talked about that was on our agenda for a while was to identify plants in unique areas along our trails at Watershed Preserve Park. And I've talked to a few different people about that. And these are just my thoughts. And it wouldn't hurt if we spent 1 or 2 sessions, maybe an hour or 2, walking the trails at Watershed
Yeah.
Preserve Park with a
Yeah.
group of people that we arranged in advance, get us together, rangers, park committee people, whoever wants to go, a couple sessions and walk the trails and point out what we think is important. Try to find 12 or 15 things that are unique that we can write down. We can put a marker there, and also we can put on the back of our little park flyers too, you know, like where
Right.
they're at.
Right.
And just for the time being, for convenience sake, and then go back and make permanent markers, I'll bring some little wood stakes. So we'll put a wood stake
Yeah.
and I'll bring a magic marker. And we'll write down, you know, such and such a tree. We'll magic marker it on the stake and we'll put it there for the time being. Then we'll come up with, we'll discuss it again. We'll come up with something for permanent markers. And we
Signage,
talked about number
yeah.
system and whatever. And we can number our markers, make better markers. But
Right.
at least we identified what we wanted to do, and that's an important thing, and in the spring we're going to bring that back up.
What we could also do with that too is we could tie it in to the Arnold Schoolhouse. We've got those Michigan DNR pictures that shows all of the different wildlife, the fauna, and all the different trees that are indigenous to certain environment groups. We could even identify them on that and mark them as the same numbers and show them even like you said on the map.
Yeah.
And tie them together, so before they go out, they could have a reference on what it looks like, so before they're getting out, they know what to keep an eye out for. When they see it, it'll be easier to identify. So we could even tie the three of those together if that would be something that you feel worthwhile in doing.
Well, those are the things that we need to do, because
Yeah.
that park is high in natural features. It's more than just a park that has trails in it that you just walk around in.
Yeah.
A state biologist said that that it had unique topography, plants, and special places for animals there.
I think
And
the geology was quite,
yeah, these things need to be identified. It gives our park credibility.
Well, and especially when they're available as some of the trail areas,
Yeah.
access through it, just
Yeah.
gives that much more to the experience. So we'll
Yes.
start working on that as
Yeah,
well
so,
too.
yeah, and so in the spring again, we'll talk about it at some spring park meetings. We'll get together and, on a couple different mornings, and we'll walk the trails at the park, and maybe like burl swamp, certain kind of tree, habitat for that kind of animal, stuff like that. Those areas need to have a little marker, this is what's over here, and then put on a map and yeah.
We'll work towards that then.
Yeah, so we need to do that, and that was on our agenda, but it disappeared, and it wasn't forgotten. It just, there's no sense worrying about that right now when we have these other
yeah, I was
things.
gonna raise my hand, that was gonna be my suggestion.
Yeah, and then, what else do we got? Well, really, that's about it, you
All right,
know.
well, and we'll final up
Yeah.
that list again,
Yeah.
and we'll have a whole,
Right.
Yeah.
input from everybody. We're gonna start working towards those.
I mean, that project could be ongoing for the whole 5
Yeah,
years.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
One more spring project that hasn't been on the list for a while is the dock repair at Watershed East.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna have to repair that. That was damaged by the ice last year. And it hasn't been repaired.
That was that 2-inch post, wasn't it?
Mhm.
We never did pull that auger out of the ground so
No.
that we can get the, we'll have to pull that thing apart.
Can you do that while the ice is on?
Yeah, you have to just go in with a chainsaw and cut the ice loose
away
around
from the
it.
post, and
Yeah,
How could you do it when the ice is on?
yeah.
Yeah,
could.
when it's iced up, it's probably real easy.
Yeah, what
That's the
I'm
best
Yeah,
time to
it's
adjust your
easier,
dock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing is the dock comes over it, we'd probably have to cut it off, take a tubing cutter out there,
saying.
cut
I
it
mean,
off, pull the.
thought
pipe
anyhow.
out. Yeah, no, it would be probably, easiest way of doing it at that point, so.
Why couldn't we slip one size bigger over the pipe that's bent, if it's not bent underwater?
It's
It is bent
too-
underwater.
Yeah, it's too bent. You won't get anything over it, and if you try to bend it back, you're just gonna snap, and it's gonna lose all integrity. So you want, the right post in there.
What happened?
One of the legs on the dock at Watershed East, the ice shifted and bent one of the legs drilled that go down to the bottom of the soil to hold the dock up at the very end on the one
So
side
now
of
the
the
dock
dock.
sits like this as a result.
So, but hey, it's probably gonna break the other leg this year, so we'll just, yeah, we'll see. We'll, if we can get that in advance, we'll see if we might be able to do it the same, one of these other work days then, so, cool.
Yeah, so really, we have a couple different work days
Yeah.
coming up, and we gotta finish up what we got going at Watershed Preserve Park,
Yep,
and then we have a few things to do
Lake
at Lake
George.
George Park too, and,
all right.
and,
Well, those would be a good list. We've got it
Yeah.
started. We'll take all the input from our next meeting and try and consolidate that. And at this point, I think it puts us into a public forum. Can we solicit any updates from our park rangers
Hope to get out there in February.
in February? Yeah, well, with that leg, you be careful walking
I am,
around
I'm not
with all
even
that
thinking about
snow
it until February.
Good, good. Any other input from the park rangers? Anybody? Nothing else? No?
that willow tree that we're supposed to cut down, that's a
Yeah.
pretty good sized tree.
It
Yeah.
is. It's gonna require some big bars.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you guys all get out on the ice and mark around where it's going, we'll drop it and see how it.
I'll watch that. I'll have maybe
From
my
afar.
camera going on.
Yeah, that'd be
No,
good.
I don't know if we have to take the whole tree down. I mean, you know, the tree
Yeah.
itself stuff is pretty solid beyond that.
Yeah, that
We
big
most
piece
certainly
that's hanging.
have to take that one
We can
extending
look at,
branch
you know.
down,
Yeah, one branch
which is about
Yeah, we have to
12
do that.
inches in diameter.
Right.
So that one has to come down.
We can all get out there, we'll have a look at it on that work day and verify
That's a
what's
big-
needed
yeah,
then.
we'll get
So-
that.
Coyotes this morning.
All right, well, if there's no more public forum, folks, we're going to solicit a recommendation for adjournment.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the January 2017 Parks and Recreation Addison Township meeting.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Sounds good to me.
All right,
Yeah.
Time
Just like at
is
6
what?
in the morning.
8:02 PM,
Half of them down by
Monday, January 2nd, 2017.
The dog barking.
All right.